What's up, everybody? I am Shobo Pion. This is not SC Center. This is the ESFI Day 1 recap. I'm here with Mr. John King. This is actually your first MLG. How'd it go?
Pretty good. It's been a very long day. It's only day 1, but I'm looking forward to seeing the rest of the tournament.
Cool. You look delirious, but it's 1 a.m., so are we all. Anyway, let's go over the pools real quick. Pool A, Marine King, Gonzi, MC Sase in that order. No real surprises there. The first surprise of the tournament to talk about is Pool B. That went DRG, Heypro, Naniwat, to Muslim. And for you, Heypro was the surprise of the tournament, right?
Yeah, you know, Heypro's been looking for like that big tournament win. He had a pretty good run at Providence, beating Nesty and almost MVP. But it seems that he's really kind of broken out here. He started off 2-0. He hit a bit of a snag with Dongre Gu. But I'm hoping that he can bounce back. The Muslim shouldn't be too much of a problem for him.
No shame in hitting a snag with DRG, and we know that anytime Heypro gets some momentum behind him, the whole community gets behind him. So exciting to see, and I'm sure the MLG guys watching the ratings are hoping that Heypro goes very far. Pool C, we have Huck, Violet, Sock, and Rhett. Huck, the lone foreigner to win a group, and really the lone highlight when you think about the fact that Stefano is now knocked down to loser's bracket, but we'll get to that in a second. Hold your horses. Relax. Pool D was parting the STC, Oz, and Grubby. The story here for me was that Grubby went 0-3, the Grubby line sinking very low. But any other surprise other than Heypro's placing?
Not too much. It is a little bit surprising to see Grubby doing so poorly. Hopefully he can bounce back on day 2. It is good to see Huck. I like to see that a lot of people try to count him out, especially with Violet in his group. That could have gone either way, but you know, he has that MLG bump. It seems like MLG is the place to be for him.
Absolutely, performing quite well. On to the open bracket. A couple of major stories here. The Pult, Stefano, and Sheth threesome. The Pult-Stefano rivalry obviously continuing. And it's kind of amazing how it keeps on living up to the hype. It was a 2-1. All 3 games were really good, specifically the first 2. The third one, Pult metagamed Stefano and won, and he deserved it, but it wasn't the long, drawn-out, suspense-filled game that the first 2 were. And it was really cool to see how much of friends they are, how much of respectful rivals they are. The sad part of this story, I wouldn't call Stefano losing the sad part of this story. One of them had to lose, and he'll come out of the loser's bracket. The sad part of the story is for Sheth. Sheth coming into this with a really good seed into the open bracket, sees his bracket and says, "Oh, great! I'm so glad I got an good seed. Oh wait, now I have to play Pult." Not looking too good for him, but again, Sheth is one of those players who will come in tomorrow and I think do well. The next topic that we need to go over in the open bracket is TLO, Jinro, Idra, that threesome taking place. Jinro topping TLO taking it very hard. I heard a few tears were shed, dropped down the beard. I'm sure were absorbed before they hit the floor. TLO, obviously a guy who puts his whole heart into that. It's good to see Jinro doing well. Now, Jinro, Idra, that rivalry, talk about a rivalry. I mean, it's been a while since that was a real, a relevant rivalry, but it's going to be great. Obviously, both players not exactly at the peak of their careers. Who do you have to take that one?
I think I got to give a little bit of an edge to Idra. I think that he's a little bit better in this regard. It certainly seems, though, that their careers have been a little bit tied. They both started off really strong in the foreign scene, and they've just kind of slumped and/or risen together. So it's interesting to see how they're like a little bit intertwined. Same with the Stefano Pult thing. Like, that has just blown up in the last couple months. Like, none of their games have been disappointing. The series have always been amazing and very high level. So it's good to see that that's continuing at MLG.
Absolutely love it. Moving away from StarCraft 2, for those of you who care about the rest of esports, you selfish. The fighting game community obviously was here. Not really here in Columbus. Not a huge showing as far as the fans go. I don't know if you were able to get out there. Not a huge audience, especially compared to StarCraft 2, where they doubled the amount of chairs. I mean, it really dwarfed everyone else out there. But the fighting game community was there online. I talked to other people from MLG working, and they were happy with the numbers online. And except for a couple of notable hiccups, they did get good feedback. Do you have any thoughts about the fact that the fighting game community is finally coming into esports?
No, it's certainly great to see them showing up. I know that King of Fighters didn't have the greatest turnout, but I think that especially in something like the fighting game community, everything's a little bit more localized. So it's like more about showing up to the events. So it kind of doesn't surprise me that maybe like for a game like King of Fighters, it wasn't the biggest turnout. I mean, I guess compared to StarCraft, where you've got an entire like section just sanctioned off for them. But yeah, it's good to hear that the stream numbers are doing good. I think that once Mortal Kombat 9 and Soul Calibur 5 pick up tomorrow, I think we're going to see a lot more enthusiasm. And not to say that there hasn't been already, but I think it'll be pretty big tomorrow.
The coolest part of the fighting game community being here for me was it being able to meet a bunch of people. I briefly met Justin Wong. I met Arturo Sanchez, and he's the guy who, he works on Team Spooky. If you guys don't know, he's kind of a big deal in the fighting game community. And he introduces himself to me, and he goes, "Oh, hi, I'm Arturo. I'm working on the production for the fighting game community." And I'm like, "I know who you are. You're an esports celebrity, whether you like it or not. You're an esports celebrity, Arturo." So he's getting to realize he's starting to live the high life. They're all going to sell out soon and come be rich, crazy people with us. I actually, just after this, we're all going to drink champagne, so get ready for that. Halo, also the other game here, a pretty surprisingly big turnout for Halo. Now, I talked about how they added seats for StarCraft 2. It was a huge showing, and it did basically dwarfed the fighting game community, certainly, that was here, and it made Halo look small, especially considering the number of seats. But Halo was packed, and they were loud for how many people were here, so it's a good thing for them to come back.
Yeah, you see, you kind of think that Halo's kind of on its way out right now, and it was kind of questionable whether or not MLG would actually pick up Reach for the event. But the Halo guys have just come out in force. The free-for-all event's still pretty much packed, and even though it's going late into the night. So it's good to see that enthusiasm's still out there, even if the game is supposedly dying out or whatever.
Yeah, I'll be interested to see how Walshy did as a commentator. I'm sure it was just fine. Not his first time around the block, but I wasn't able to catch it due to me watching StarCraft for the last 60 hours, it feels like. The last thing I want to mention that I didn't mention is Muslim, obviously not doing that great. His picture, I mean, for everyone who's seen it, I'm sure, on Reddit, #1, after a loss, it's him slumped over, just crying, basically, with his girlfriend there comforting him. And I guess I just want to touch on this because, A, it was a really great piece of photography, really touching. It's on all from Reddit, and it's getting people to realize that it's not just a couple of pixels marching around a map. I mean, people care about this game. Emotions are invested. Lives are altered because of the way this game goes, and I think it's really cool to see stuff like that. It's just like when you see a great piece of video work or a great piece of writing, a great piece of photography can bring in new fans and really humanize a player. So kudos to the photographer and kudos to Muslim for letting loose at just the right time when the camera was there.
I agree. This is kind of what MLG moments are made out of, just those moments where you kind of can humanize the players, because you spend a lot of time watching the video game and we can critique the players' play over and over, but those moments where you just kind of get to see what it's like to actually be a competitor and what it's like feel the pangs of loss. That's really cool to see that players actually care and they're not just in it for the money at all. There's actually something on the line for them.
Yeah, really beautiful photographs. So thank you guys for watching. I'm sure we'll be back here again, and I'm sure you'll be back here again for day 2 on Saturday. Stay tuned for Championship Sunday, obviously. I'm Chobo Pion. This is John King. Thank you, man. And thank you guys for watching. See you guys later.
See you.
No big surprise there. I was able to watch some of those games, and you know what? The players who won played better. So what can you do? Move on to Pool B. With some let's start.
Let's move on. Yeah. Oh my God. Yes.
All right, back to it. Action.